HOA fees. What are they? How much are they? And how often do I have to pay them? My name is Sean Larson, real estate broker. Let's answer a few of those questions. We're going to back up at stage one and we're going to define what an HOA is, because these videos are viewed all around the country and a lot of places don't have HOAs. And so an HOA is a homeowners association. It is a legal entity that is built from the homeowners or landowners within the community. And the HOA sets rules for the community, and usually a board is in charge or a management company is in charge of enforcing those rules. So you have a set of documents that is referred to as the CCRs, which is the covenant, conditions, and restrictions. Those are kind of the regulations and rules of the neighborhood. Then you have the bylaws, which define kind of how things operate. And so as a resident of the community, you are lucky enough to participate in paying to help the community run. And so how much you pay, how often you pay, that's going to depend on the community you're in, because the funds go to help the community operate. What's operate? Well, let's take a couple examples. You might have one community that has just a lot of green space. Maybe it is all forested. You don't even need a lawn company. Well, your maintenance costs are going to be pretty low. But the HOA probably will still keep a legal person on hand or on retainer so they can answer questions if needed. So you're going to have some core expenses. Okay, let's step it up a little bit. You've got a community with a lot of green space. It's all manicured. You have a fancy entrance. You've got some gas lanterns on there. So you've got a gas bill, lawn bill, irrigation. See, it starts adding up. And so that has to be paid by somebody. So the homeowners are assessed fees, or actually they're scheduled fees rather, because we're going to get to assessments, scheduled fees, and that helps cover the costs of all of the operations of the community. You can go all the way to a community that has full-blown golf course, tennis courts, 4 swimming pools, guarded entrance, and everything. Now see, those HOA fees are going to be very different, because look how it escalated with the number of amenities they have. So you can be all across the board on how much they are, what they cover, how often you pay them. Sometimes you'll pay them monthly, quarterly, annually. If you're in a community that is, like I mentioned, is fully blown in amenities, you've got golf course and everything, don't assume that your HOA fees cover all of that. Because quite often your HOA fees might cover the general maintenance of the neighborhood. It might cover maybe a social membership. If it's gated, some of that might have to be escrowed because you might be taking care of your own streets if you're a closed gated community. Don't assume that that also bought you into the golf club. It may or may not, but sometimes golf clubs are an additional fee. So if you're looking at a golf course or something like that, keep that in mind when you're evaluating HOA fees. So that's a little bit how HOAs run and operate. That's what the fees go to. Look on all the properties you're considering on how often those are billed, because you want to know annually how much you're paying on that. We brought up assessments a second ago. That is another fee that can be applied. So for example, say for instance, you've got scheduled HOA fees and everything's cranking along, budget looks good, and all of a sudden something happens in the neighborhood, or the neighborhood needs something, or maybe even the neighborhood votes on something they want, and they don't have enough cash reserves to cover that. It could be that the HOA would then assess you and every home or landowner. And what that would be is they would take that cost and they might divide it. It might be prorated. It depends on the scenario. But you might be assessed a fee that will contribute to whatever that project was. And see, that could be in addition to your regular fees. So you have HOA fees that are usually scheduled to cover maintenance, maybe cash reserves and things like that. And then you could have an assessment if something should occur that warrants that. So heads up on that too. Don't think that you're just free and clear. Usually somewhere in the CCRs or the bylaws, there's going to be something in there that will allow the HOA to assess homeowners. Sometimes there are limits, so just read everything that on a property that you're considering. So my name again is Sean Larson. I'm a real estate broker. If I can help answer anything like that or anything about real estate, give me a shout. I'll take great care of you. Thanks so much. Have a super day.